I do have a hypothesis as to why, like, our Canadian government has not acknowledged what's happening in Gaza as a genocide. And looking at the other examples that you've given, Canada is not explicitly complicit in other genocides, but it is in this one. And for the Canadian government to actually acknowledge what is happening in Gaza as a genocide is a crime. It is a crime by this Canadian government, by current leaders that are upholding ongoing trade with Israel, ongoing arms sales to Israel, and should be tried for their war crimes. But to acknowledge that, comes with this full array of full acknowledgement of this complicity. And I think there are massive international legal implications for the Canadian government, for the Foreign Affairs Minister, for the Prime Minister, for the Cabinet, for this Canadian government. And it will only be a matter of time for these things, I think, to be decided and to be tried. But I think that is a major sticking point, because to acknowledge what is happening in Gaza as a genocide, there is responsibility to end that complicity. And in fact, as I mentioned in my remarks, Canada has continued to trade with Israel and actually provide lethal weapons technologies, even over the course of last year. And in the backdrop of the Foreign Affairs Minister last year, Melanie Joly, saying that there is an arms embargo, but when in fact there has not been. When Global Affairs has not been forthcoming in their own statements, and these are the statements that get fed to ministers and to members of parliament, where I've met with ministers and members of parliament just last week, and they continue to believe these statements that Canada is not as complicit as the United States, for example, when in fact we are. When in fact there are companies in our own backyards, like in Montreal, like in Ottawa, that are wholly complicit in sending the supplies that build the F-35 fighter jets in the US by Lockheed Martin. And these are the same fighter jets that are flying over Gaza by Israel to drop 2,000-pound bombs on children, on families, on men, women.